Roast. Phil Simms just joined us. That was some fun stuff with Uncle Phil. Phil Simms, 2-time Super Bowl winner. In a few minutes, Rob Guerrera. They call him Stats on Fire. Stats on Fire. Niners Nation podcast host for SB Nation, NFL, and Niners Nation. He's got thoughts on Jimmy Garoppolo as we continue to keep this moving here. But there's a lot there to take away from Phil. Nice guy. And by the way, good morning, everybody on YouTube, Twitch. Log on to Twitch. Log on to YouTube. Like us, love us, do what you got to do. We see y'all on Twitch and YouTube. Of course, comments are firing away. Comcast Business Text Line and everybody out there getting to work, getting off your graveyard shift. What is happening? Got Craig Mack on the board. We got Lubman looking like a dude named Bartholomew. Yeah, Bartholomew.
You got to have the Bartholomew in there, not
Bartholomew. He looks real dapper there with his Miami Hurricanes polo. He's still freaking out over the Giants. He's the only guy in the Bay Area right now, who cares about the damn Giants. They lost 6 in a row. That's the Giants mention, last mention of the show. Giants lost 6 in a row. They are cooked. And, of course, we got nice guys.
I'll just say this for Giants fans. Go look up the grand slam that Marco Luciano hit last night for the Eugene Emeralds, all right? And try not to get excited. That's all I got on the Giants.
Get my Stephen A. on here saying, hey, nice guy, I'm here to tell you right now. We don't care. We don't care.
I thought you were going to tell me the Giants are going to go back to the playoffs.
We don't care about Luciano.
Back to back.
We don't care about the Giants. We do not care.
Can I say something about Phil Simms though? Because that interview was awesome. Phil Simms is always great whenever he comes on. If you see that Phil Simms is going to come on to the morning roast, that's appointment listening every single time.
No doubt.
But I did find it fascinating when we asked about Jimmy Garoppolo. How's he going to be feeling? We haven't really seen this version of Jimmy Garoppolo with the 49ers. And by that, I mean the backup quarterback version. Like the backup quarterback version of Jimmy Garoppolo over there in New England. Well, you got 2 teammates in Martellus Bennett and also Julian Edelman. Right. Martellus Bennett instigating it, calling Jimmy the B word for how he handled a certain situation.
Yeah.
I believe, I forgot, it was 2014, I think?
No, it was a Thursday night football game.
In 2015, maybe?
Against the Buffalo Bills. Maybe 2015.
I think it was 2015.
Yeah, 2015, the season before he got traded.
But the point is, we haven't seen a version of that Jimmy Garoppolo with the 49ers. Since he's been here, it's been his team. He's been the starter. And now he's got another guy. Like, is it going to be, kumbaya within the locker room for Jimmy G? Or is there going to be a point where Jimmy G is like, man, all right, I got to flex a little bit. Like, I've taken this team to the NFC Championship and the Super Bowl. Like, I got to, this is my time now. You know what I mean? I wonder if we're going to see a different version.
No doubt. I wonder, too. By the way, 707 Comcast Business Text Line. Our guy, Posy in P-Town, listening all the way in Bora Bora.
Damn.
That's some dedication.
Posse's a P1. I think I've met Posse before.
Yeah, Posy in P-Town out there on the Odyssey app. And don't forget to download the Odyssey app. We got everything, man. We got Warrior games, live Warrior games. You got sports, you got music, you got a little bit of everything. Download the free Odyssey app. It truly is a great app. And look, man, follow your favorite team, station, radio shows, and podcasts now by downloading that free Odyssey app.
Hey, man, in a few months, you know I'm on that Odyssey app with the Christmas playlist. You know what's up with the Christmas playlist, man. I was playing them all last year. Fire Christmas playlists on the Odyssey app.
Again, don't fire up the Christmas playlist until after Halloween.
I'm not saying I'm doing it now. I'm not saying I'm doing it.
You got to be a real nerd to start celebrating Christmas in September. Christmas lights do not go up in September. They don't go up in August. They go up after. Actually, you know what? It should be after Thanksgiving.
I was about to say, you're saying after Halloween.
My bad.
Can't do that.
No. After Thanksgiving. We had this whole rant last year about that. After Thanksgiving, you start celebrating Christmas.
Right.
Because Thanksgiving, to me, is the best holiday out there.
Agreed.
All the food, all the football. You get a little hoops, get a little shopping, Black Friday, all that stuff. Christmas, to me, is just like, oh, man, just get this over with.
Yeah. I mean, I'm English, so, we don't really celebrate Thanksgiving over there in England. So Christmas means a little more to the family. So it's interesting over there. We have Thanksgiving, then Christmas. Not much time separated in between the two. But over there, all they got is Christmas. So it's like when Christmas happens, that's a big time of the year. And then Guy Fawkes Day.
What the hell is Guy Fawkes Day?
I don't even know, but it's Guy Fawkes.
I don't even want to know.
What? You don't want to learn about different cultures?
Who's our guy who always comes at me about celebrating Christmas early?
Casey and Marin.
Shout out to Casey and Marin.
Yeah.
He's a good dude.
That was a fun little standoff you guys had last year.
Yeah, no doubt. He sent some donuts or something like that. But one of the big takeaways
what was your takeaway from Phil?
So there's a couple things. One about Trey Lance, how he shouldn't be faced with having Jimmy G back in the locker room. Phil basically said, if this shatters his confidence, then he's not the man. There's always going to be tension, and there's always going to be conflict at the quarterback spot in the NFL. That was important because I agree with that. If Trey, that's why I wanted Trey to compete with Jimmy in training camp. But I get the business side of it because if something happens to Trey and, Shanahan decides, you know what, we're going to stick to Jimmy. We're going to stick to Jimmy. Then you have to pay him the $24.2 million. So this way, he comes in later. He still knows the playbook. I like this way. But he's right. If it shatters his confidence and he can't rise above this, Trey Lance that is, then he may not be the guy for the 49ers long term. He may not. So that was my big takeaway there. And then the narrative being real about Jimmy being back in the locker room and how it would affect the 49ers. Because the narrative is real. I lived it. That talk will be in the locker room. You can't avoid it. For Trey Lance, it is not the greatest scenario.
I gave you the worst case scenario yesterday, and I don't know if it's going to come true, but the worst case scenario would be, well, Deebo Samuel, your $25 million a year man, he's not getting the football as much as he wants to. He knows with Jimmy under center that he's going to be getting the football. Trey Lance and Brandon Ayuk, it seems like the chemistry's there. It feels like Brandon Ayuk is poised for a fantastic season this year. If Brandon Ayuk's going off, getting all the targets, Deebo Samuel's not. Doesn't seem like they're in sync. Watch them clash in the locker room. Deebo watch Jimmy, Ayuk watch Trey, and then that's what it could turn into.
I would have totally disagree with you.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just hypothetically speaking here.
But talking to multiple people with the 49ers, and we saw how it all played out with Deebo in the offseason. He showed a lot of immaturity. Social media stuff. The throat slashing like, I'm not coming back to the Niners. All that nonsense. He shows some diva tendencies. As we used to say on Bonte Stein and
Diva tendencies.
DTs.
I remember that.
He showed a lot of that. A lot of that. And there's no doubt in my mind, if he don't get the touches this year that he did last year, Deebo has it in him to throw a little hissy fit here and there. So that's something I'm going to be watching for. But let's get Rob Guerrera, Stats on Fire, Niners Nation. And apparently, and I've seen some of the tweets, I've heard some of the clips. He's not too thrilled about Jimmy Garoppolo being back. So, Rob, good morning. Welcome to the roast, man. Long-time follower. Been watching your work for a long, long time. You do a lot of great stuff. Why are you not happy about Jimmy Garoppolo being back with the 49ers?
Good morning. Thanks for having me, guys. Well, I'm not happy about it because this team, every opportunity, they just chop the legs out from underneath Trey Lance every single time. Everything that they are saying about Trey Lance is be patient. He's going to have growing pains. It's going to take time. We're going to lean on the run game and the defense. Yet everything that they are doing with Trey Lance says, you better not struggle. You better not have any growing pains, because if you do, we've got your replacement that we brought back from the dead, basically, to come in and back you up now and look over your shoulder. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not like a lot of these other guys who started as rookies last year, like Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson. They didn't exactly have veteran starters just waiting as backups. But how long of a leash do you think that the team is going to give Trey Lance? Because we're even seeing something that, even after week one, if he struggles, the team could be thinking about Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, that's the thing, right? However long it was, it just got shorter by re-signing Jimmy Garoppolo. It has to be. And the 49ers can try and talk this down and say what a great thing this is, all they want. But the truth is in what they do. And what they are doing is they're trying to hedge their bet. They have this Super Bowl roster, and so they don't want to seem willing to go through the bumps in the road that you're going to go through when you draft a quarterback as inexperienced as Trey Lance. That's why this whole thing doesn't make any sense. If you want to say, we can't afford to have growing pains because we have a chance to win now, that's fine. But then why did you draft the most developmental quarterback in the entire draft? So it's just, what is the plan here? They never seem to have a plan.
Not when it comes to the quarterback position. I think they have a plan, Rob. And we're talking to Rob Guerrera, Niners Nation, of course, Stats on Fire on Twitter. I do, but the quarterback position, I'm with you here where under Lynch and Shanahan, the quarterback spot has been mismanaged, starting with the 2017 NFL draft when they passed up Watson and Mahomes, right? They don't even scout them. Then they draft C.J. Beathard in the third round. And then, oh, snap, he's not any good. Brian Hoyer's not any good. Let's pivot and trade for Jimmy Garoppolo. But the whole point of not drafting Watson or Mahomes was because we're waiting on Kirk Cousins. It all doesn't make sense at all. But let me play devil's advocate here. I do think this is a good insurance plan because I looked at the backup spots. Brock Purdy, Nate Sudfeld, I'm not sold on. Sudfeld's going to Detroit. Purdy's now the number 3 quarterback, which is shocking to me. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not impressed with him. But that's why I think Jimmy Garoppolo is back, and that's why I don't think it's necessarily a bad move to have number 10 back on the sidelines.
From a purely football standpoint, I agree the quarterback room is stronger. But look, you've had Phil Simms talk about it. Every former player, Kurt Warner was talking about it with Rich Eisen. The locker room is going to question why they are going with this young, inexperienced kid if they struggle early in the season because of all the credibility that Garoppolo has built up with that team. They're going to be like, what are we doing messing around with Trey Lance when we've got a guy that we know we've won with, just sitting here, basically. And the irony of all ironies in this whole thing is that if Trey Lance comes out and plays like Jimmy Garoppolo has played with the Niners, he's going to get replaced by Jimmy Garoppolo. It's the most absurd scenario I can possibly imagine. Like, do people forget this team did not gain a single positive yard the last 12 minutes of the NFC Championship game? That's not an exaggeration. Like, that happened. That was real life.
Yeah.
But the team is just continuing to stick with Jimmy Garoppolo, and I don't know why. You can't put all your chips in the middle of the table.
Rob, especially after the signs have told us that they don't really trust Jimmy Garoppolo, which is mind-boggling to me. Maybe they do trust Jimmy, but I go back to Super Bowl 54 when they don't call a timeout to run a 2-minute drill, and they let all the clock run, and there's the image of John Lynch in the suite saying, timeout, timeout, timeout. And then on the flip side, with a minute 49 left, he said, let's throw the ball 4 straight times with 3 timeouts with the ball at midfield. So the signs have told us that they haven't trusted Jimmy Garoppolo. Yeah, he's back. That's the most mind-boggling thing to me.
That's the part of this that doesn't make any sense, is that you can see the lack of trust there. 3rd and 7 against the Packers, when you're like, hey, if we don't get a first down, this field goal could be really sketchy here. It's freezing cold. It's snowing. 3rd and 7, what other team in the league hands the ball off? And thank God the human get-out-of-jail-free card, Deebo Samuel, ran the ball for a first down because he's incredible. But, that just shows the lack of trust with Jimmy G, so they can say that they're all in on Trey Lance. But it is clear that there is something that they have not seen from him, because you don't do this. You don't risk a potential split locker room if all you want is a good backup quarterback. It's clear that they have something about Trey Lance that they don't like. And they can say all they want, but the proof is in what they do.
Rob, Jimmy took the pay cut. $6.5 million is the base salary of what he'll be making. Do you think that with the addition of Brock Purdy to this 53-man roster, that was also a surprise? I didn't think they were going to keep 3 quarterbacks. But now that they've kept Brock Purdy, are they just setting Jimmy G up to possibly be traded before the November 1st deadline, or is he going to stick with this team through the season?
Well, that's possible. They could still move him. He's certainly more attractive on that contract. But, yeah, that's kind of a scary thought, right? Like, our 2 quarterbacks that we're going to go into are Trey Lance, who's super inexperienced, and the last pick in the draft. Again, that's part of it with Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not judged by what I think should be the standard for an NFL quarterback. He's always judged by, who else is on the 49ers? What other crappy quarterback is on the 49ers, right? We heard, he's better than Nick Mullins. He's better than C.J. Beathard. Yeah, great. Congratulations. Those guys are trash bags at quarterback, okay? That's not the standard for what you want on your team. And so here we are again, and it's like, the backup options were Sudfeld and Purdy, so I guess we got to have Jimmy Garoppolo back. That shouldn't be the standard of whether you can have a job on this team or not.
Yeah, this leash is not going to be long for Trey Lance. I do agree with that, and it's going to be fascinating to see that. How do you think Trey Lance will fare, especially behind this offensive line that has a lot of warts? There's going to be basically 3 new starters, and then Mike McGlinchey on the right side. Everybody keeps saying Trent Williams and Mike McGlinchey are going to be back. Well, Trent Williams is going to be back. Do we not remember the images of Mike McGlinchey in 2020? This line is going to be problematic, and that's why I worry the most for Trey Lance.
Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of helter-skelter. It's not going to be smooth. That's not who Trey Lance is. He's not a natural thrower of the football. He's going to miss some guys that Jimmy Garoppolo would hit. I think that's clear from the little that we have seen from Trey Lance. But I think the big play potential, and he's going to make enough big plays, is going to be there so that they're still going to be able to move the ball. And this is why I'm worried about the leash on him, because people expect him to just come out like gangbusters, and I don't think that's what we're going to see. But I think that they're forgetting. The 49ers last year did not come out like gangbusters, guys. There was a ton of times in fact, 11 times last year, including the playoffs, where they scored 10 points or fewer in the first half of games, including 6 in the first 8 games. Yeah. They came out and they were not lighting it up on the scoreboard with Jimmy Garoppolo. And if Trey Lance does that this year, he's going to get replaced, which is totally unfair.
Robin, some of your latest work for Niners Nation, you do think that there's a chance that this splits the locker room with Jimmy Garoppolo there as the backup quarterback. And you did set some precedent toward the end where you said Pete Carroll did a pretty good job building the Seahawks culture in 2012, and players on that team nearly revolted after Russell Wilson lost his first game as a pro. Obviously, Matt Flynn was the backup there. But haven't Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch shown that the culture is pretty damn strong over there in Santa Clara?
Yes, it is. It's probably the biggest asset that they have built since they have come. But the players ultimately do not care about that. They care about winning that week's game. It's why Jimmy Garoppolo had so much support in the locker room in spite of some of the poor performances we saw with him. Because all they knew is, I am busting my butt, right? I'm playing hurt. I'm playing tired. I'm working all the time to win these games. And when that guy starts, we win. And that's what it's going to come down to. Imagine if they lose to Justin Fields the first week.
Oh, my gosh.
It's going to be incredible. And so the fact that the 49ers have signed up for this just, again, shows me that there is something about Trey Lance that they are not 100% sold on.
Hey, Rob, you lived up to your moniker, Stats on Fire. You on fire here on the roast. We can't wait to do it again. I don't know if you're going to be in Chicago, but if you are, hit me up. I'll be out there, and it's going to be just – I just can't believe I got the image of Jimmy Garoppolo running out of the tunnel at Soldier Field wearing a 49ers jersey, something I did not foresee happening for the 2022 season. It's going to be fascinating, though. Trey Lance, Jimmy, and the 49ers with the Super Bowl roster. Can't wait to see it develop. Rob, thanks for the time.
Thanks for having me anytime.
Thanks a lot, Rob.
Rob Guerrera, Niners Nation.